Hello peeps and welcome back to Modded Minecraft with Nightdagger. Last episode, we got started on part of the plan for power. But we need a lot more resources before we can really make that plan a reality. I mentioned that I was going to try and do that with an excavator from Immersive Engineering. And I took out my core sample drill and I did some poking around. And as you might be able to tell from the minimap, I've had some success, finally. All of these over here are different ore veins that I've found. So it's not as sparse as I originally had thought, but me trying to do all of this in a world where terrain is in the way, it's kind of a pain in the ass. So I have decided that I'm actually going to do something that I've been putting off because I wanted a few more materials for it, but then I realized that it will help me get those materials that I need. We are going to start screwing around with RFTools dimensions. So, all of this starts out with a couple of machines. The first thing we're going to need is a dimension inscriber. This is all going to take machine frames, so I'm just going to make a handful of these things. So we need a dimension inscriber. Pretty cheap, pretty easy. Black dye, question mark? Does it actually have to be ink sacs? I think it actually has to be ink sacs. That's stupid. Okay. I would have had this ready already if I had known that this wasn't going to work. Let's sleep through the night before I go out and screw around outside. Another thing I need to work on is armor, because I am very much not armored. And we'll just do home, home. Because that's going to put me out here near a decent amount of water. And let's see if we can find squiddies. Hi, buddies. Thank you. Alright, let's try this again. Ink sacs. There's my dimension inscriber. We're also going to need a dimension builder. Normally it'd be pretty expensive, but I've got no shortage of ender pearls, diamonds, or emeralds right now. We are also going to need a dimension editor. We're going to need a dimlet workbench, which I think I've got, yeah. We won't need the activity probe or the energy extractor right away. We are, however, going to need a phased field generator, and I do have a few dimension shards. So we're going to grab an Eye of Ender. We're going to grab an Eye of Ender. Thank you. Now that we've got that, I'm going to toss that in. Oh, I guess I have to use the stupid charger over here, don't I? Yeah, we'll just have to use the Energizer. It was powering itself off my flux capacitor, and I don't want that, so... And we're going to need to set this up in a place where we can have our wireless crystal here supply power for us. I think I'm just going to set it up in here for right now. Probably will change this later, but... So, dimension editor, dimension builder, Let's see. That is constructing them. That is inject into existing. And the workbench I don't believe needs power. So, we'll just pop these down. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll link the crystal binder with our wireless crystal. And we'll start feeding power into the devices that need it. Okay, so this one needs it. Gotcha. I knew about the builder, because that thing takes a shit ton of power. And I knew about the editor. But I thought the inscriber took power for whatever reason. Oh well, not a big deal. So, I want to create a basic dimension. We don't want to do anything fancy with this. We just need the absolute basics. So, I'm going to create a few base dimlets in order to inscribe this world. First thing we're going to need is an empty dimension tab. These things are stupid cheap. No problem. I'm also going to get a digit 1 dimlet. Which means basically I just need a digit 0 dimlet. And then use it once. That changed it to a 1. Let's see. And we're going to need to get a few base dimlets. Like, we want effect none. So we'll grab that. We want sky normal. This dimlet is blacklisted, huh? Apparently not. We want feature. Well, actually, I don't want feature none. I want default weather. I want sky normal day. Okay, well, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to do anything with the skies. We want material dimlet stone. In other words, we want it to be a normal world. We want a liquid dimlet. Where is the liquid dimlet? There it is, liquid dimlet water. So, material dimlet stone, liquid dimlet water will generate just the standard world. Let's see. We want time normal, which means we're going to need some of these dimension templates. Probably need more than that, but I also need a clock, don't I? Yep. Clock. Time normal. Okay. Mob default. Let's just make a handful of these things. So, default mobs. Controller dimlet. We're going to go with controller dimlet default. So we need a redstone comparator. That's controller dimlet single. I want controller default. There we go. And now the last thing I need is a terrain dimlet, because I want to tell it what type of terrain that I want. And I'm going to select, as soon as I find the terrain dimlet, I'm going to select terrain dimlet flat. Because I want a flat world. Apparently I have no bricks. I can fix that. There we go. There's my terrain dimlet flat. Alright. that should give me pretty much everything I need to create a basic world. So, in the Dimension Inscriber, we're going to put this empty dimension tab. We're going to name this Flat World 1. We're going to use our digit dimlet first. Then we're going to do our terrain dimlet, immediately followed by our liquid dimlet and our stone dimlet. Worn, huh? There are dangling modifiers. Do you have to put this after? Okay, I guess you have to put this after. So, stone, water, and flat terrain. Effect none. Sky dimlets. Weather dimlet. Time dimlet. Mob dimlet. Controller dimlet. Now the controller dimlet is going to give me just default biomes. I could put in single biome, but without a way to control exactly which biome I'm getting. And I don't feel like doing absorbers at the moment. Absorbers, well, actually, you know, a flat or a plains absorber might not take too long. Let's try it. I just need to find a plains. I'm kind of leery about using the absorbers because I was planning on making a permanent day dimension just to make it a little easier to move around in. But once I get past the lag spike, I have a time absorber sitting up here. And if you look up right now, you can see it's almost noon. So if I give this thing a redstone signal, it's going to go to 30%, right? If I were to come back and flip this thing again when the sun is starting to set and gets down to about there, I'll actually lose progress on this stupid thing. So, absorbers are kind of a pain in the ass. Map. There's a plains right out there. So, let's fly out there and see if we can find a plains biome. Magical forest. This is a forest. On the other side of that is going to be an extreme hills, and then there should be a plains over here. Taiga plains. There we go. Forest, plains. Forest, plains. Forest, plains. Forest. Is there like one frickin' square that's plains? Okay, plains. Thank you. I need a redstone signal, don't I? So, break that down. Break those down. You. And you. And let's see how long this takes. That's a material absorber, not a biome absorber. I'm an idiot. Oh. Hi, Boofer. I cannot believe I just did all that crap with the wrong frickin' absorber. Cannot believe I did that. I am an idiot. Hey, there we go. Now we're absorbing the plains biome. How long is this going to take? Long enough, I'm not sure I want to wait. Is this area chunk loaded? I don't believe it is. Okay, when I fly over this, it should change. It does change. Okay, good. Yeah, we'll go back to the base and finish setting up the infrastructure, and then we'll come back and check the biome thing. Okay, I'm also going to need a matter transmitter and a dialing device. These will need to be placed somewhere out of the way where I'm not accidentally going to step on them. So I'm going to put them over here. Put the dialing device right there. Put the matter transmitter right next to it. And light spike. Then we'll connect these with power. Let them charge up. The dialing device is what you use to link your matter transmitter to other dimensions. The matter transmitter will send you to other dimensions if it is linked. Which, there's nothing to link here, because there's no dimensions created. Now this we're going to name base. And if we check here, we have access to base, but we don't have any destinations because there's no matter receivers anywhere. If I was to put down a matter receiver and name that old base, I could transport between the two. I couldn't come back because there's no matter receiver here, but I could get there. Let's see. And the dimlet workbench. Let's go get... Actually, I don't even have to. Let's put the matter absorber away. I will need that eventually, so I don't really regret making it. I just regret looking like a dumbass making it. Dimlet. We've got a bunch of dimlet parts here that I've gotten from breaking down dimlet packages that you get from killing Endermen. So we are going to store all of these wonderful things in here. Now, if I want a plains biome, we can do this, and we can click plains. And it's going to populate all of the parts except for that absorber. I have all of the base parts that I need. I just need the absorber. You can do all sorts of stuff with this. You can make desert oil field biomes if you go absorb those. It's not limited to biomes. You can make... you can specify that the liquid in a world is supposed to be canola oil. You can specify, for example, that... Oh, these are all freaking liquids. You can specify that the material is supposed to be the obsidian tiles from the chisel mod. Instead of populating stone, it'll populate that. You can specify that you want the world to spawn lots of ocelots. We'll be coming back to visit this later. probably not this. You can set all sorts of different skies. You can set different types of terrain. Flooded cavern is actually an interesting type of terrain. Invertigo is also interesting, but you can specify different types of structures that you want. You can specify features, like you can have huge liquid orbs that just float in the sky and are filled with liquid. No dimlet buildings? I don't know why you would want to do that. Ores aplenty is an interesting one, because that generates tons and tons of ores. Let's see. Why? Oh, because I'm in there. At RFTools dimensions. You can see here there's a feature absorber. And if you use the feature absorber in a world that has the tons of ores thing, you'll actually get the tons of ores. Gravel, water, and what? There, okay. That's entertaining. This essence item is the main ingredient for structure. Okay, I don't think you can get those. So, let's go back and check on our biome progress. How are we doing? 100%. Good. Let's go back to the base. And Boofer, you need to stay. Sit. Good dog. Let's come over to the dimension editor. Or dimlet workbench, rather. And we'll put this biome absorber in there, and that gives me a biome dimlet planes. Now, because we're using this, we're not going to want to have this controller default. We're going to want to have controller single, which is made with a redstone comparator and dimlet templates instead of paper. So, you. Give me you. Give me you. And we can put that away. And then in this world, we're going to do controller dimlet single, biome dimlet planes. And we're still going to call this flat world 1. We'll store that, and that gives us an oh, dimlet sky normal night was not included because it's blacklisted. Okay. That's fine. It's fine. We'll just go ahead and put that away. And we have a realized dimension tab. For 2,065 RF a tick, we can create this world. After that, it will cost us 127 RF a tick to maintain it. So let's go ahead and pop that into our dimension builder and let that start realizing. Now, as soon as this is done realizing, it's going to suck probably almost all of the power out of this, because it's going to want to fill this tab with power. And boom, completely drained it, but it's now powering this dimension with RF. This phased field generator is a safety net for you. If you happen to be in a dimension that does not have power, dimensions with RFTools dimensions, as opposed to the older mods like Mistcraft, these dimensions have to be powered. If a dimension is not powered, when you are in it, as it starts to run out of power, you'll notice that the world starts getting a little more gray, a little more colorless. If the world runs out of power, you will instantly die because the world ceases to move. The world ceases to have any sort of time progress. The world basically just ceases to exist as a world and becomes a static point in time because it has no power. this phase field generator allows you to move through one of those collapsed worlds by generating a bubble of reality around yourself. So, this is your safety net. As long as it is on your hotbar, you can maintain yourself even in a dead world. Still probably not best to do it. So, we're going to dial our matter transmitter to Flat World 1, and let's step through and see what waits on the other side. It will take just a minute for the world to finish realizing, and of course it would be night, but is it eternal night? That's interesting. Is it just night because it's night, or is it night because it's eternal night? Because that's going to suck. Anyway, we can fly around here, and then as we're flying around, you'll notice these things. These are dimlet buildings. Dimlet buildings have dimlets in them. Sometimes good ones. Feature material dimlet, dirt bricks. Also has these chests, sky dimlet, a dimlet parcel, nice. And the no dimlet buildings thing. I don't know why you would want that. I'll turn that on to let us know we were there and go flying off. I really am curious as to whether or not this is a world that's just completely eternal night, or it doesn't look like time's passing very fast. I'm missing a lot of ticks. But it does seem like time is passing. So it might just be that it might just be that it's night in this world, not that it's eternal. Oh, hey, we have a forestry tree over here. That's a cherry tree. And that's an oil spout right there. So that's cool. But yeah, now we can fly around and we can look for dimlet buildings to get new dimlets. The other thing that we can do is I can come in here with my drill, and it'll be a lot easier for me to fly around here. Frozen River, Caverns, Dimension Cross Block. Effect invisibility. That's interesting. If nothing else, that will probably disassemble into a fairly high level dimlet. What level effect is that? How about no? That's a rarity 3. Okay. I'm really hoping to find some rarity 5 dimlets at some point here, because the rarity 5 dimlets, those are the big bad ones that you need to create some of the really crazy effects, like spawning ender dragons into your world. And that's something that we're going to want to eventually do. But yeah, if I fly around just a little bit, I'll see dimlet buildings here and there. I'm pretty sure I've already checked this one. No, I haven't. Okay. Water dimlet, cobblestone array dimlet, weather dimlet, no rain. Nice. Sky, large moon, terrain waves. Terrain waves, huh? That could be interesting. We'll just go ahead and put these dimlets away for the moment. Oh, and lag spike, okay. Let's go ahead and open this dimlet parcel. 3 basic energy modules. Whoop-de-doo. Alright. Pick up the rest of these, put those away, and then this is something that I'm going to probably dink around with later, as opposed to doing this on camera. I'm just going to use home base to get back as opposed to trying to teleport or anything like that. And then I'm going to interrupt this transmission so that I don't accidentally teleport if I step on this. Now, one thing that I could do is I could put an activity probe in that world, and it would only draw the power if something was going on in that world. Like if I was in there. Then it would draw power. Otherwise it wouldn't. But it's only drawn 127 RF a tick. I'm not that concerned about that. So I'm not going to mess with it. One thing that I do want to start working on. I am starting to put myself in situations where I am getting more and more banged up. And I have not ever worked on armor. So, we're going to work on some armor. Not just any armor. We're going to go straight for some draconic armor. The Wyvern tier. So, we're going to make a Wyvern helm, Wyvern chestplate, Wyvern legs, and Wyvern boots. All of these things require base diamond armor. They all require a Wyvern core, and they all require a Wyvern energy core. I do have enough nether stars for that, right? I think I have barely enough. So, we'll need some Wyvern cores. We'll need some Wyvern energy cores. And we're going to need the base tier diamond armor of all 4 types. So, that's my diamond leggings. That's my diamond helmet. Here's my boots. And the chest plate. For the Wyvern helm, the Wyvern chest plate, the Wyvern legs, and the Wyvern boots. This is going to quickly kill all of the power in my flux capacitor. We are going to need a better way to charge crap. Well, that's where the Wyvern flux capacitor comes in. We're going to use our last nether star to craft another Wyvern core. Oh, or not. Or, yeah, I just need to put it back in there. We're going to need 4 more of these energy cores. And that'll give us our flux capacitor. And we're going to need the Draconic Evolution charging station. I can't remember what the hell it's called. Energy infuser. There it is. 3 Draconic cores, an enchantment table, and an energy core stabilizer. So we'll start that. Enchantment table should be pretty easy. I have no books, really? I'm low on paper, too. That's interesting. Particle generator. I don't have those? Okay. So, one more Draconic Core. We'll go ahead and make 2. To get particle generator, get the energy core stabilizer, to get the energy infuser. Energy infuser, get. I'm not going to put it over here. I still need to go back through and redo all of this crap. I'm going to break up. Why did all of my stuff move? I'm going to break up these things. And that. I'm going to put my energy infuser right in the middle of the room. Right there. Link that with power. And we're good. Can throw that and that away. And this flux capacitor, it did its job. 25 million RF. Yeah. We've graduated to bigger and better. So we'll throw the Wyvern flux capacitor in there and we'll let that thing start charging up. And it's drawn power. Let's go ahead and put on our Wyvern tier armor. 256 shields, 16 million RF storage. We'll shift right click this to charge all. We'll toss it back in and let it fill up. And there we go. We're fully charged, fully armored. Hey, fuckos. How you like me now? Yeah, how you like me now? I love Draconic armor. Okay, so there's Draconic armor done. Can put all this crap away. And now, we're in a good position where if I feel like I want to go exploring around in a dimension, I can do that. If I feel like I want to fight a wither, or 20, I can do that. On the subject, I think I need to kill a few more withers, but I'm going to do that off camera. So, I think this is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Nightdagger with episode 31 of Mod of Minecraft with Nightdagger. Man, I really need to reorganize my machinery. Because this is irritating the shit out of me every time I walk in and I look at this and it's like, oh, I've got crap here, I've got crap there, I've got just bundles of machines. Even this is irritating the crap out of me now. So, at some point here, maybe even between episodes, I might reorganize all of this crap. And I'm not even sure I want all of this running anymore. Because this is producing... This is going to end up producing so little power in the grand scheme of things that I'm not even sure they're going to be worth it. These things are generating what? They're capable of generating 160 RF a tick? I can't even remember. But, yeah, we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you later, peeps.